If you are planning to buy into the Garmin Fenix 9 Pro, the single most useful thing you can do right now is understand exactly what you are budgeting for, because Garmin's pricing strategy has shifted noticeably over the last 2 generations, and everything currently circulating points to that trend continuing rather than reversing. This is not a video about whether the rumored features are worth it in the abstract. This is a video about real numbers, real historical pricing patterns, and what you should actually set aside before Garmin makes anything official. Start with the history, because Garmin's own pricing pattern over the last couple of generations tells you almost everything you need to know about where the Fenix 9 Pro is likely headed. The Fenix 8 series launched in August 2024 with suggested retail prices starting at $999 and climbing up to $1,199 depending on size and display option, alongside a more budget-friendly Fenix E model priced at $799 for anyone who wanted the Fenix ecosystem without the full flagship cost. At the time, that starting price represented a $200 jump over the previous Fenix 7 Pro generation, and more than a few longtime Garmin fans openly questioned whether the company was pushing pricing too far. Then, roughly a year later in September 2025, Garmin raised the ceiling even higher with the Fenix 8 Pro. That lineup split into 2 display options: an AMOLED version priced between $1,199 and $1,300 depending on size, and a micro-LED version, available only in the larger 51mm case, priced at an eye-watering $1,999, making it the most expensive Fenix ever sold at the time. That micro-LED model delivered 4,500 nits of peak brightness, genuinely the brightest screen on any smartwatch at that point, built from more than 400,000 individual LEDs packed into the display. So heading into the Fenix 9 Pro conversation, the honest starting point is this: Garmin has already proven twice in a row that it is willing to push pricing upward generation over generation, and the Fenix 9 Pro is very unlikely to reverse that trend. Now let's get into what is actually rumored for the Fenix 9 Pro pricing itself, broken down by the 3 tiers currently circulating. The standard Fenix 9 is expected to anchor around the same baseline as the outgoing Fenix 8, somewhere close to $999, keeping the entry point into the Fenix ecosystem roughly consistent with what current buyers already pay rather than pushing the floor even higher. The Fenix 9 Pro tier, expected to bring the upgraded sensors, titanium and sapphire construction, and the choice between AMOLED and solar MIP displays, is rumored to land somewhere in the same general range as the outgoing Fenix 8 Pro AMOLED models, likely landing between $1,100 and $1,300 depending on size and display choice. Then there is the flagship tier, the satellite-connected Fenix 9 Pro variant, which industry chatter suggests will carry the steepest premium of the 3, potentially pushing toward or even past the price territory the micro-LED Fenix 8 Pro occupied, particularly if micro-LED display technology carries forward into this generation's top configuration. One important wrinkle worth mentioning here: some of the more recent reporting on Fenix 9 development suggests micro-LED might not actually become the standard premium display option this time around, because it reportedly did not deliver the battery life gains Garmin was hoping for when it shipped on the Fenix 8 Pro. If that holds true, AMOLED and solar MIP could remain the 2 confirmed display configurations for the Fenix 9 Pro lineup, which would be a meaningful pricing detail since micro-LED was the single biggest cost driver behind the Fenix 8 Pro's $1,999 price tag. So what actually justifies spending this kind of money on a watch in the first place? It is a fair question, especially when that same budget could put a genuinely capable laptop or a solid chunk of a vacation in your pocket instead. The honest answer is that you are not just paying for a screen and a heart rate sensor. You are paying for an entire ecosystem of offline capability that most other devices simply do not attempt to replicate. Full offline topographic mapping across multiple regions, satellite messaging and emergency SOS that works completely independent of a paired phone, titanium construction and sapphire crystal glass that are genuinely built to survive years of abuse in extreme conditions, and increasingly sophisticated on-device health analysis that used to require separate lab equipment. For a casual gym-goer or someone who mostly wants step counting and sleep tracking, none of that premium is remotely justified, and buying a Fenix 9 Pro would be significant overkill. But for search and rescue professionals, mountaineers planning multi-day expeditions into areas with zero cell coverage, or serious endurance athletes who genuinely rely on accurate physiological data to structure their training. That premium buys real, tangible capability that cheaper alternatives simply cannot match. The price is steep specifically because Garmin is building a tool for a narrower, more demanding use case rather than a mass-market lifestyle gadget. And that distinction matters enormously when you are deciding whether this watch is actually for you. Now let's talk timing, because this is where the picture has actually gotten considerably clearer over the past couple of months. Garmin's own CEO has confirmed during a recent earnings call that the company is planning major outdoor product launches in the second half of 2026, without naming the Fenix 9 directly, but the timing lines up almost perfectly with Garmin's established release pattern. The Fenix 8 launched in late August 2024, and the Fenix 8 Pro followed roughly 13 months later in September 2025, which makes an August to October 2026 window for the Fenix 9 series highly plausible based on historical cadence alone. That timeline has picked up real supporting evidence recently too. Back in June 2026, a developer digging through version 5.26 of the Garmin Connect Android app found a direct reference to the Fenix 9 baked directly into Garmin's own code, something that was not present in the previous app version.